As a future real estate investor or current real estate investor, I'm going to show you how to understand the bank's breakdowns that they send you so you know what you're looking at for a cash out refi, and the numbers all make sense because there's only a couple numbers there that actually matter. I'm going to show you why. If you need to know how to shop banks, stay with me. I'm going to show you right now.
Welcome to the smack fest, the beat down. The SWAT team is here on another beautiful day of shutting the week down.
And for meeting for the very first time, my name is William Dauria. This channel is all about achieving your financial freedom through real estate investing. I personally buy properties, I renovate them, I rent them out, I live off the passive income, allowing me to spend time with my family and make YouTube videos for you. If you guys like that content, consider subscribing. I make several videos per week. Okay, so once you purchase your first rental property, first off, huge congratulations. And then what I do is I come back around and I do a cash out refinance on the property, allowing me to recapture the equity that's already in the property or that's been built in the property over a matter of years from debt pay down and natural appreciation. You get a gap that keeps growing and growing and growing, and you get to a point where you want to cash out on that gap once it becomes a certain size. So when you call banks, every single bank, you want to tell them the exact same information so you're getting apples to apples comparison. And you're going to get a breakdown that looks like this. And this breakdown looks complicated right off the bat. There's only a couple numbers that matter. However, we're going to get to that in just a minute because when you call banks, you need to have this information here. You need to have the property address. You need to have the original purchase price ready. You need to have the current market value of the property as well, because they're going to ask that. What is the appraised value? You need to know how to do that. If you don't know how to do that yet, I'm going to attach a video to the end of this video showing you how to find the ARV, the after repair market value or current market value of your house with recent sale comps. So be sure to check out that video at the end of this one. Also, you're going to need to know your yearly property taxes on this property. Or if you haven't bought the property yet and you already know you're going to be buying it with equity and you're coming back around to do it, congratulations for finding a great deal, by the way. You can go on Zillow.com or you can even go to the county's website, type in the address. Hopefully they'll give you that information. Every county is a little bit different. Some are much more difficult to deal with than others. But you also need the yearly insurance cost. Okay, so when it comes to insurance cost in your area, hopefully you have an idea of kind of what the houses are bringing. If not, you'll just go like, Allstate, Progressive, hopefully just do like a quick online quote just so you get an idea. You're not trying to get down to the penny yet, okay? You just want an idea. Is this $100 a month? Is it $150? Is it $250 a month? You're trying to get an idea so you can get a ballpark of your monthly payment with PITI, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. That's like everything combined in a typical mortgage, okay? The next thing is HOA dues. You need to find out, is it a part of a HOA? Is it a townhome? Is it a condo? Is it something that typically has an HOA? Or is it just a nice neighborhood? Because nice neighborhoods typically have HOAs in a lot of areas. So you need to know, what are the HOAs? They could be from $25 a month to hundreds of dollars a month. It will make a difference in your ROI, your return on investment, so you need to be sure you know that. Also, 75% of appraisal. Yes, I wrote that very close, and I'm sorry. I was a C- student in high school. I went to summer school majority of the years, and I was a college dropout. So when it comes to writing and stuff, I'm not very good. I'm just good at opening businesses, being successful with it, and making money. And that's really what I enjoy doing and making YouTube videos. So if I misspelled something or something's hard to read, it's just because I'm a terrible writer. It's not because I don't care. I write like a 3-year-old or chicken scratch, so just bear with me. Okay, so once you have all these numbers together and you're calling the banks, you need to print up. I printed up, personally, I did like 30 banks because I wanted to narrow it down just to one. You don't have to call 30 every time. Okay, I call 30. You don't have to call that many. But I called that many because I wanted to narrow it down to the top 3. And those top 3, I'm going to shop every single time. Okay, so one time I have to call a bunch of banks to figure out who are my go-to guys. narrow it down to a couple, and then I'll use those couple for every future quote I have in the future. You could have 3, you could have 5, but I get it down to the top 3, okay? And it's usually, honestly, I find some of the best deals are some of the local guys because they understand the area and they're not hesitant to say, oh yeah, Garland, Texas is a great area, for example. You know, I like that area a lot. What kind of property are you looking at? Oh yeah, those rent fantastic. I have the cash flow and that should be great. I mean, they kind of know the area versus there's people in Los Angeles I talk to, people in New York I talk to, and they're a little bit more hesitant because they have no idea of the area I'm investing in. They don't even know what state I'm in, for instance. I mean, they are really like punching it on the computer and just going off of like an algorithm that their company sends them. And it's not always the best, you know, way to find a lender or the best lender practice, because sometimes they'll tell me 150 grand, like market value, like what is that? And that was a guy from New York. I thought that was hilarious because in my mind, I picture him thinking of like a broke down metal shack in like a corner, like, because in New York, 150 grand would get you like a porta potty in the corner of a construction zone, like just because land value and everything is so expensive there. So 150 grand all over the United States is a much different. Like in Ohio, you can get a pretty nice place, right? If you take 150 grand to Los Angeles, you're living in a porta potty, okay? All right, so next thing I want to do is I want to show you a quick down and dirty way to break this stuff down. So the banks send you numbers, all 3 of them, okay? This is what it's going to look like. Bam. Okay, so the first thing you need to verify if you're doing a cash out refinance, for instance, is this right here. LTV, that's loan to value, that's 75%. Majority of the banks are going to show 75 and going to lend on 75% of the appraisal value. If they try to lend off the purchase price, tell them no. It's the appraisal value you're interested in, not the purchase price. I have a property I bought for $35,000 at appraised for 140 grand. Can you imagine if they wanted to give you 75% of 35 grand? You'd be walking away with like 15 grand after fees. It wouldn't make any sense at all. It'd be insanity. Okay, so the next thing you're gonna look at is the LTV. Is just you're verifying it. Make sure it says 75%. You don't want to like compare 60 to 75%. It's not apples to apples. Okay, so the next thing you're gonna look at is the cash to borrower. How much cash are you getting to walk away with, okay? That's a very important number because you're going to compare it directly to this number here, the monthly property expenses. I know it sounds a little bit complicated. It means your monthly payment, okay? In this case, it's $979 is my monthly payment, okay? So I know between my monthly payment and my cash to borrower, everything in between that is the fees that they're charging me. Okay, you can rob Peter and pay Paul on all these fees and make it look good here or there, but when you're looking at both of those numbers, all the fees are in the middle and they cannot be hidden at that time. So compare your monthly payment with the cash to borrower. That means how much cash you're walking away with and what is your monthly payment. Look at those numbers when you're looking and comparing with other banks, because they can say, we won't charge you any points at all. We won't do this, we won't do that. Yet we're going to hit you on the back end for something else that's crazy. But at the end, those 2 numbers right there will tell the entire story. Okay, so the last thing you're going to look at is going to be the interest rate. In this case, it's 4.875% interest. Now, when it comes to the interest rate, you're going to see higher, you're going to see lower, but they, like I said, they can rob Peter and pay Paul. So don't always look at the interest rate and say, he's 4.7, he's 4.8, I'm going to go with the 4.7, because if they charge you an extra $5,000 in fees, it's going to take like, I don't know, 7 years to break that even. You see what I'm saying? Like, you need to look at the whole picture. And when you're looking at the monthly payment and you're looking at the cash to borrower, that right there is telling you the whole story of all the numbers in between. And use those 2 numbers to make your decision, guys. Hey guys, hopefully this video makes a lot more sense of all the numbers and the mortgage lending rates and how much they're giving you and what they're charging and all the stuff in between. So if you like this video, consider smashing the like button. And if you want to share this video with any other real estate investors or friends that you know, or even somebody just shopping for their first house to begin with, guys, this information is a must know for all real estate investors, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, I will see you on the next one.